You already know it is the CC Takeover. Took over the Annika Pro-Am today. Shut it down. Operation Shut Down. We are talking about thousands of people lined up to watch her play golf. This looked like game.
This isn't a basketball game. This isn't a playoff final. This is a celebrity golf tournament at 8:30 in the morning, and thousands of people are here. They're wearing Indiana Fever jerseys, holding signs, and treating this like the most important sporting event of the year, all to watch Caitlin Clark hit a little white ball. What you're seeing isn't just a big crowd, it's a warning sign. It proves the Caitlin Clark effect is real, but it also exposes a massive problem the WNBA is desperately trying to ignore.
Am I embracing this Caitlin Clark madness, or am I a little upset that the biggest star on the property plays a different sport?
Okay, let's reframe this a little bit. Biggest sports star in professional basketball that wants to play in a PGA Tour Pro-Am. Do you think the PGA Tour guys are upset that they're taking away spotlight from them? No, I think they're excited that the best athlete in the world is engaged in the game of golf. And I think the women think no differently. You've got the best or the most prominent women's sport.
And that problem could erase her from the sport for the next 3 years. Let that sink in. We're in the middle of a dead WNBA offseason. The league has gone completely silent, but the fans are so starved for content they'll show up at dawn just to watch her swing a golf club. This one event tells you everything you need to know about the future of the league and why it might be completely doomed.
Like, she was going against the New York Liberty out there, and she was about to hit 3 threes in 28 seconds or something like that. That is what the crowd looked like. I'm telling you, I've said it over and over. We have not seen a woman this transcended in sports. She had the golf world lit up.
Look closer at this scene. Her Indiana Fever teammates, Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull, are acting as her caddies, both wearing full Fever gear. These are technically free agents, but they're here supporting their franchise player. This isn't just a team, it's an ecosystem built around one person. The fans aren't here for the LPGA, they're here for Caitlin. This is a level of personal brand gravity that no one in the WNBA has ever had before.
And last up, Caitlin Clark!
Woo!
But here's where the warning signs start flashing red. The league had the most explosive season in its history, shattering viewership and attendance records, all thanks to her. But the second the season ended, nothing. Absolute silence. No major storylines, no content, no strategy to keep the millions of new casual fans engaged. Those fans are the ones who drift away first, and this golf tournament proves they're desperate for literally anything to keep them invested.
Stop, Caitlin Clark!
This void is creating a vacuum where the only conversation is the one thing that could kill all this momentum, a potential lockout. If a work stoppage happens, Caitlin Clark could realistically go from September 2024 to March 2027 without playing a single competitive basketball game. 3 years. Anyone who tells you her brand would survive that is lying. Athletes need to play to stay relevant. You can't just disappear and expect the world to be waiting when you come back. Think about the pressure of this one golf shot. People were literally analyzing the way she placed the ball on the tee, trying to diagnose hamstring injuries from 50 yards away. That's not normal. That's a fan base so desperate for information and so terrified of another injury disaster like last season that they're resorting to amateur sports science on a golf course. It shows just how fragile this entire phenomenon feels right now. The WNBA is watching this happen, watching thousands of fans prove there is a massive, dedicated audience, and they are doing absolutely nothing with it. Instead, the league has reverted back to its pre-Caitlin state, a tired, circular argument about player pay versus league losses. They had a once-in-a-generation opportunity to change the narrative, and they've already let it slip back into the same old debate that casual fans tune out. This golf event is proof of concept. It shows that Caitlyn's appeal transcends basketball. People are invested in her asterisk. The LPGA knows this. They get record engagement every time her name is mentioned. So why does the WNBA seem completely paralyzed? They appear terrified to fully embrace her as the face of the league, but they also have no idea how to build up other stars to her level. They're stuck in the middle, failing at both. So while these thousands of dedicated fans show up at 8:30 a.m., they represent the core audience the WNBA can't afford to lose. But the league's survival doesn't depend on them. It depends on the millions of casuals who started watching last year. And right now, the WNBA is giving them every reason to change the channel and forget the league ever had its moment in the sun. This golf tournament wasn't a celebration, it was a distress signal. Let's dissect that distress signal because it's not just a vague feeling of unease. It's a direct response to the ticking time bomb at the heart of the league, the Collective Bargaining Agreement, or CBA. The current deal, signed in 2020, was hailed as groundbreaking at the time, but in the post-Caitlin Clark economy, it's already obsolete. The WNBA Players Association has the option to opt out of this deal after the 2025 season, and they have to make that decision by the end of October 2024. That's just weeks away. Every single player, agent, and owner knows this is coming. The silence from the league isn't strategic. It's the eerie quiet before a storm. The players are going to opt out. It's a foregone conclusion. And when they do, it starts a one-year countdown to a potential work stoppage right after the 2025 season. The league is staring down the barrel of a self-inflicted catastrophe, and their response is to turn off the lights and pretend no one's home. This golf tournament, with its thousands of desperate fans, is the last flicker of light under the door, proving someone is home, and they're waiting for a sign of life that the league refuses to give. What are the players fighting for? It's not just about bigger paychecks, though that's part of it. The core issues are systemic and speak to the league's amateurish treatment of its world-class athletes. The #1 battleground will be chartered flights. For years, players have flown commercial, dealing with cramped middle seats, flight delays that impact recovery time, and unsettling security situations where they are accosted by bettors and overly aggressive fans in public airports. The league finally caved and implemented a full charter program mid-season in 2024. But it was a reactive move, not a proactive one. The players want that policy, and the significant cost that comes with it, codified permanently in the new CBA. They're also fighting for a larger share of league revenue. The current deal gives them a 50-50 split, but only if the league hits certain revenue targets, which it conveniently hasn't. The players will argue that with the Clark-driven explosion in ticket sales, merchandise, and media value, those targets are now sandbagging. They want a real, guaranteed 50% cut, no strings attached. This isn't greed, it's a demand for a modern professional sports partnership. On the other side, you have the owners, who have historically cried poverty. The league has claimed it has never turned a profit in its nearly 30-year history, with owners collectively losing millions of dollars each year. This has been their shield against any demands for better pay or amenities. But the shield is starting to crack. How can you claim you're losing money when you're selling out arenas at NBA-level prices? How can you plead poverty when a single rookie is driving a reported $70 million in new revenue for the league? The ownership group is also no longer a monolith. You have newer, more aggressive investors like the Golden State Valkyries ownership group, who paid a $50 million expansion fee and are building a state-of-the-art facility. They didn't invest to lose money. They see the league's potential and are willing to spend to unlock it. This creates a schism. The old guard owners may want to maintain the status quo, while the new guard sees the current player demands not as a cost, but as a necessary investment to elevate the league to the major league status it's so close to achieving. The CBA negotiation won't just be a battle between players and the league. It will be a civil war between the owners themselves. This all comes down to the single most important negotiation in the WNBA's history, the new media rights deal. The current deal, bundled with the NBA's package, pays the WNBA a reported pittance of around $60 million per year. That deal expires after the 2025 season, setting the stage for a monumental payday. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert has thrown out a figure of over $100 million per year as a goal, but even that feels criminally low. For context, the NWSL, a league with a fraction of the WNBA's viewership, just signed a deal worth $60 million per year. The Caitlin Clark effect has given the WNBA unprecedented leverage. Her games on ESPN and ABC were routinely pulling in 2 to 3 million viewers, numbers that rival Major League Baseball and the NHL. One single regular season game between the Fever and the Chicago Sky peaked at over 3 million viewers. Media executives aren't blind. They see these numbers. They see thousands of people showing up for a golf tournament in the offseason. The WNBA is no longer a charity case to be thrown into the NBA's media package. It's a premier, high-demand live sports property. A truly transformative deal could be worth upwards of $150 million to $200 million annually. A cash infusion that would make chartered flights and higher salaries a non-issue. The problem is, the owners know this, and the players know this. The entire CBA negotiation is a game of chicken over how to split a treasure chest that hasn't arrived yet. The owners want to secure the media deal asterisk before committing to massive new expenses in a new CBA. They want to know exactly how much money is coming in before they write the checks. The players, on the other hand, want the owners to commit to those expenses first asterisk, arguing that investing in the players and the product is what will guarantee a massive media deal. They believe the owners are trying to use the new media money to pay themselves back for past losses instead of investing it into the league's future. So who blinks first? If neither side does, you get a lockout. The owners will lock out the players to force them into a more team-friendly deal, and the WNBA's golden era, fueled by its brightest star, comes to a screeching halt. The league's momentum would be completely squandered over a negotiation that could and should make everyone rich. Now let's return to the 3-year doomsday scenario for Caitlin Clark. If a lockout happens after the 2025 season and it drags on, what does she do? The obvious answer is to play overseas like many WNBA stars have done for decades. But for Clark, it's not that simple. Her brand is quintessentially American. She is the Iowa girl who became a national phenomenon. Playing for a team in Turkey, Spain, or China is a massive risk. The media coverage in the United States would be minimal, relegated to box scores and occasional highlight clips on social media. She would be removed from the daily American sports conversation. Her multi-million-dollar endorsement deals with State Farm, Gatorade, and Nike are predicated on her being a dominant, visible force in the American market. Would those brands be as eager to pay her 8 figures to be a star in Istanbul? Furthermore, the WNBA's current CBA actively discourages this. It has a prioritization clause that penalizes players for arriving late to WNBA training camp from their overseas commitments. This was designed to force players to choose the WNBA, but in a lockout scenario, it becomes a moot point. A lockout would essentially force Clark to choose between brand decay at home or brand dilution abroad. A terrible choice for a player who should be entering the absolute prime of her career. The most infuriating part of this entire situation is the sheer, unadulterated marketing malpractice being committed by the WNBA. The league is sitting on a goldmine of genuine, compelling, off-season drama, and they are refusing to dig. Imagine if the NFL or NBA was facing a similar high-stakes CBA negotiation. It would be the #1 topic on every sports debate show. There would be leaks from sources in the owner's camp, followed by counterleaks from the Players Association. Star players would be using their podcasts and social media to make their case to the public. The leagues would feed this beast, understanding that conflict, when framed correctly, is a form of engagement. The WNBA has this organic, high-stakes conflict, a genuine battle for the soul and future of the league, and they are treating it like a shameful secret. Instead of framing their players as pioneers fighting for what they deserve, they allow a narrative of silence and uncertainty to fester. The fans at that golf course are proof that the audience is there, hungry for any storyline. The WNBA could be telling the story of its own evolution, but it has chosen to tell no story at all. This paralysis ultimately falls at the feet of the league's leadership, Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, and the Players Association's leadership. They are the stewards of this golden goose. The offseason shouldn't be a void. It should be Chapter 2 of the Caitlin Clark story. It's the behind-the-scenes arc where the business of the sport catches up to the phenomenon on the court. It's a chance to introduce the other key characters. Nneka Ogwumike, the savvy president of the WNBPA fighting for her constituents. The hardline owners trying to protect their investment. The rising stars like Aja Wilson and Breena Stewart, whose legacies are also on the line. These are the stories that build a league that turn casual fans into dedicated ones. By failing to engage with their own central conflict, they're not just ignoring a problem, they are actively eroding the foundation of trust with the millions of new fans who just tuned in. Those fans came for the basketball, but they would have stayed for the drama. Instead, they get nothing. All they see is one player on a golf course, a lonely lighthouse signaling that a storm is coming, while the ships in the harbor have all turned off their radios.